In Matthew 28, Jesus leaves us with what we call the Great Commission, and it says this: "Go therefore and make disciples of all the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all that I have commanded you. And behold, I am with you always to the end of the age." Lectio Coram Deo is a way of reading the Bible as a disciple and making disciples. It means we read in the presence of God to know more of Him, love Him more deeply, and be transformed into His likeness. And through that revelation that brings transformation, we can live out the mission of God, that the kingdom of God is both proclaimed and demonstrated through us, the believing Christian. This reading is designed to make disciples, and it's based on the movements of Jesus' own call to His disciples to follow Him. He called them first to come see, to rely on their senses, to see Jesus revealed. He then called them to abide, to remain with Him and to grow with Him. And then finally, He called them to go in His name. He sent them out. Lectio Coram Deo became a methodology for us. It was a simple way for people to engage the Lord through the Scriptures and see the impact on their lives and in the world around them. For me and for the church that I planted and still serve as one member of the pastoral team on today, it was a life-changing experience. I gleaned more from the Bible and found that it was built around the person and presence of God differently than I had studied the Bible at other times. It markedly changed my life and that of my wife as disciples and my life as a pastor. It changed the way that I planted the next church I planted. It changed the way that I preached and prepared for preaching. It changed the way I taught others to study the Bible and the way our small groups called tribes engaged in the Bible. And it changed the way that I've trained others to preach. Disciple making is the why behind it all. And to reverse engineering disciple making, to start at the end, we go to 1 John 3:2, where it says, "Beloved, we are God's children now, and what we will be has not yet appeared. But we know that when He appears, we shall be like Him, because we shall see Him as He is." We are called to Jesus, charged to join on a journey that will bring us to Him and make us in His likeness all the while we're going. Anywhere we make disciples of others. The church is to make disciples. When Jesus spoke to His disciples after His resurrection, He told them that He had all authority. That was the risen Christ. He'd brought victory from what onlookers could only see as loss at that time. His most faithful disciples mourned and prepared for His funeral and burial. His own apostles began to make a plan to transition their lives back to where it was without Him. Now He's appeared and gathered them, and in a mix of faith and doubt, they stand and listen. He gave them this one charge: make disciples. We have to make that the point of our lives as Christians, to be disciples and make disciples. Discipleship is that continuation of the process of bringing us to Jesus. It's transforming all of us into the image of the obedient Son. In understanding its end, we learn about its process. At the end, at the final moment of transformation for all of us, when we will be what we were always meant to be and never were in this life, we'll be like Him. He'll be fully revealed, the Scriptures say, and we'll see no other destruction of a broken world around us or distractions of our own sinful heart. Revelation is the stuff of transformation. The spiritual disciplines, they're meant to reveal Him. Through silence, we quell other voices in the world around us. Through service, we often see His body, the church, or reading, we hear His voice. Like any spiritual discipline, the task is not always easy, and the fruit of it varies. Sometimes it seems little more than a good exercise that we engaged in, and sometimes over time, the pattern of a discipline changes our lives. We try to get ourselves in the way of God. That's what the disciplines really do. It prepares us for that moment. In John chapter 3, when Jesus talked about the Holy Spirit with Nicodemus, He said, "The wind blows where it wishes, and you hear its sound, but you don't know where it comes from or where it goes. So it is with everyone who is born of the Spirit." How does God reveal himself? How will I see more of Jesus? Good questions. God reveals himself multiple ways. He reveals himself in creation. After all, creation is his masterpiece of engineering and artistry, spoken from his word, conceived in his mind. And Psalm 19, 1 through 3 says it always speaks to us. It says, the heavens declare the glory of God, and the sky above proclaims his handiwork. Day to day pours out speech, and night to night reveals knowledge. There is no speech, nor are there words whose voice is not heard. You see, the Psalms are saying that the heavens silently declare all that the Lord is through his creation, through the echoes of that. The Proverbs tell us to look and to listen to see how wisdom is taught through nature around us. It points us to the ants on the ground to show us how to work without a taskmaster having to tell us everything, how to be self-motivated. I can remember seeing the fall leaves one year and considering that God built a presentation of beauty into something of death when he created autumn. Or one other time seeing a forest where an older growth tree had fallen, and in that puncturing of the sun's canopy, other trees were now growing up. That vacancy gave light to the ground for new life. See, these lessons from nature are often subjective. What you know beforehand will likely inform what you see. They are not specific and universal pieces of revelation, but God has clearer means of revealing himself. The clearest piece of revelation of God ever for us is Jesus, the incarnation. Jesus claimed to explain the Father. He told us of a life which he had come from with the Creator and his plans. He lived perfectly among us as the obedient Son, so present and yet consistently full of grace and truth. We don't see Jesus as those who lived with him did in that day, but they didn't see him fully then, that is rightly, until after the resurrection. Peter, James, and John saw a hint of it for a moment on the Mount of Transfiguration, when they saw Jesus transformed in glory with Elijah and Moses with him. Peter will later say, this is not the primary place of seeing God. Like nature, these are subjective moments of revelation. He had that moment, the Lord used it to change his understanding of Jesus, but that moment was gone. See, memory can trick us, but the Word of God is to be remembered, and it endures. Peter writes in chapter 1 of his second letter, in verses 19 through 21, and we have the prophetic word more fully confirmed, to which you will do well to pay attention, as to a lamp shining in a dark place until the day dawns and the morning star rises in your hearts. Knowing this, first of all, that no prophecy of Scripture comes from someone's own interpretation, for no prophecy was ever produced by the will of man, but men spoke from God as they were carried along by the Holy Spirit. The Word brings us to Jesus. That's its primary purpose in the revelation of God. How is this studying then different from any Bible study that we would do? We know that the Scriptures tell us that we're supposed to do our work in studying the Word in a way that shows we're workmen who are approved, who aren't ashamed of the way that we handle the Word of truth. Paul writes that to Timothy in his last letter to him. Bible study, though, takes on many forms. Christians go to the book. That's the primary thing we do. But Jesus, while he preached from them, didn't always tell us how to study. The apostles turned to these and wrote scriptures and preached sermons from them. Followers, disciples learned to hear and obey through reading. We're told to abide in the Word. The Word is said that it has the capacity to mature us, to grow us in Christ. And it's said to be living and active, unlike any other book we've ever read. And the information of it matters. There are things to be learned from the Bible. Learning the Bible means studying. It's those tools of inductive Bible study where we make observations. We follow the leads of history and geography to learn more. It means studying using tools that others have left for us in this task. There's a strength to having an understanding of biblical language and geography, history, and culture. There's a depth that can happen when you have all those resources. But information alone will never lead to transformation. It does, however, prime the pump for it. If we have only one spiritual discipline to draw us to Jesus, to reveal him, the Bible is likely the best candidate for that, written by the Spirit and commended for its ability to bring men and women to maturity as they follow after Jesus. Even the Lord himself commended the Bible as a way to experience him in John chapter 5, when he told the Pharisees they search the scriptures because in them they believe they have life, but these are they which testify of him, that people should come to him. The goal of Lectio, Coram is to empower Christians to pick up their Bible and read their Bible and get closer to God through it. It's the way that God has planned and empowered by his Spirit to bring transformation in our lives through the revelation of his Son, Jesus. So how is a disciple formed when we do this? The Great Commandment tells us that it has to be a full commitment to God, that our heart, our mind, our strength is his. Encountering God means that we see him, but almost immediately in the Bible, people who encounter God see themselves in light of God. Then they're given a task that their lives become reoriented and they pursue. It was true with Isaiah in Isaiah 6 when he sees the Lord, sees himself as an unclean man and is sent as a missionary. It's true with Peter, the reluctant apostle, who when Jesus called him said that he should take someone else. There's a balanced foundation in these things for every disciple. We must learn to be three things and live those three things out. We have to grow in these three areas constantly. The first is that eternal area of knowing and seeing God. Then there's that internal area of the Lord working in our lives and changing our pilgrimage. And then finally, out of that transformation comes a different reflection in an external way that we impact the world. It began for me to see this way of studying between two churches. It's not quite that nothing was done right in that church, but there were things I knew I needed to do differently. I was still young and green and growing. And in between those plans, I spent a lot of time considering what could be done differently. What would some of the 2.0 pieces of a church look like? And I came to see that before there was a gospel of salvation, there was a gospel of satisfaction. God made us to have a life from him. He put his breath, his spirit into Adam. This life should still meet in us when we read the Bible, written by the Spirit and breathed back into us. For Adam, the intimacy was instant. He was alive because of this eternal breath. God gave Adam and Eve a place to belong with people, a community. Adam knew who he was. He knew where he belonged. And he knew who was with him. There was an internal reality to Adam's world. And there was a green world around him. There would be spots where his progeny would live and develop the image of God in their children as they multiplied. Gardens yet to be made of the disorder and chaos around. Families yet to be had. He knew there was a purpose, a meaning to the world and work around him. There was an external reality for Adam as well as for Eve. It's from that we find that balance of discipleship. But why do we call it Lectio Coram Deo? The Latin phrase Coram Deo means before the presence of God or before the face of God. It is the intimate reality of God and his people together. It's used in the Bible in Latin translations like the Vulgate. In Genesis, it's used before the flood, as God sees before his face the evil that would bring him to destroy a world and preserve only a few righteous people and their livestock to start again. The Psalms poetically describe it as the walk of our life before God in Psalm 56. Proverbs 3 tells us that before we get to that place of being able to lean on God and trust our ways in him, we have to walk in his ways before his face, Coram Deo. In the New Testament, Cleopas, one of two of Jesus' disciples who meet him on the Emmaus Road after the resurrection, describes Jesus as a prophet mighty in word and deed, coram Deo, before the presence of God. That is, he spoke and acted with God, with an intimacy there. It's why when asked, what's the main thing about the Christian life, pastor, theologian, professor, and author R.C. Sproul said, living coram Deo. See, it keeps us ever aware of the Lord, alive in his presence. There's a defragmentation of our lives, and we get focused on the one thing that matters. We stop compartmentalizing, and it all becomes coram Deo. It can affect our daily lives. When in Romans 14, Paul is working out for the church there when they can do certain things and why. Can they eat food sacrificed to idols? Can they celebrate certain holy days? Paul will not say it's the law that solves the problem, but the heart, living coram Deo. It's in his presence, in his power, through reliance on him for his purposes, under his authority, and on his mission. That's coram Deo. Because any work, even religious efforts, without reliance on the ever-present God is wasted. In the book of Acts, Ananias and Sapphira give outwardly. Before people, they might have looked active and engaged and maybe even incredibly generous. But when confronted by the apostles, they're told, your hearts are not right, coram Deo, before the Lord. And this makes the work just a waste of time. See, when God is absent, when there is no presence, there can never be his power and his purposes. So too with reading the Bible. So how do we read coram Deo? How is Lectio coram Deo practiced? Said in the simplest way, it will be reading 3 times for each of those spheres of life, that eternal, internal, and external. The first will be to ask, what do the scriptures say about God? It's the come see phase of discipleship. Behold your God. This should never tire us because we need that continually. Our focus is on so many other things, but we have to enter into a dialogue with God as the scripture does. See, it begins with God as the starting point when you open in Genesis. But we can easily find temptations or circumstances that make us think the conversation should start with us. We start to ask, what does it say about me? But when waiting to the second point, that's the right question. It's the abide in him phase. What does my life look like in the presence of God and his word? This is the personal point of interaction that may result in personal confession or correction or instruction or actions. It's the process of finding ourselves in the text. Sometimes it's where we interact and respond, where we receive or reject something God is saying to or about someone. What implications are there for my world begins that third phase, the go in my name to the world around. Scripture calls us to experience God, to come and be with him, to see him, and also to go and serve our God away from that time of communion. This is the process of receiving a calling from God that calls us to be missionaries and ambassadors and sends us out. The readings themselves can be done at different frequencies. They can be done in one sitting where you go through each of those 3 movements, or you can take several readings over the course of time, saturating yourself in a passage for a week or more, and finding through almost serendipity, seeing things in the world that you weren't really looking for that are there when you have this biblical lens before you. It always begins with calling on him, like the psalmist cries out in Psalm 119, open my eyes that I might behold wondrous things from your word. Though there are 3 areas in the balance, 3 movements to Lectio coram Deo, I often take a reading up front, almost like entering a threshold before being in the room. I moved from something to somewhere else. It's an unexpected portal that brings me to Jesus. It's not unlike the wardrobe in C.S. Lewis's The Chronicles of Narnia. We suddenly find ourselves in a different place, presently before God, differently than we often are before we're reading. There is specific revelation from the Word. The words of his Spirit are alive, and it speaks from another place. I calm my heart. I look around, as it were, adjusting my eyes to see what is this new environment as I'm welcomed into God's presence. Then that first eternal reading. To say it in a little more expanded of a way, we seek to experience God revealed so we can know more of his eternal truths and character. We believe him to be the main character of the Bible. Therefore, we try to get to know him more by reading and asking questions like, God, who are you? What are your characteristics? What do you like? What is there to learn and understand about you from this passage? Sometimes I'll ask people, if you could only teach your God from this passage, what would you say if you were making a creed or a statement? God, how do you communicate? This is a good time to try to clear your mind of preconceived notions about God and just look at him freshly from that particular passage. Take your time reading. Reading slowly is a key to really delving into the passage. Enjoy the time and savor the reading. To read with him before his face means engaging him, not just learning about him. Often a prayer back to God after that first movement of reading is a good place of response. It can be thanksgiving to him for who he is, or simple adoration, perhaps our most neglected place of prayer, where we simply say, God, we worship you. You are this. Lord, you are patient. Lord, you are kind. Then we move to that second reading. If I'm in the image of the Creator, then I'll only know myself more fully when I more fully know the Creator. Creature is informed by Creator. We read to know ourselves as individuals. We journey on this pilgrimage. But a pilgrim and a hermit are two different things. Hermits are alone. They just hear their own voice and have no companionship in their journey. Pilgrims move towards a fixed point together. This reading will be about displaying God in us as men and women who are on pilgrimage together. The church responds most effectively together. It's meant to be together. And for us in the modern age, it may be those small groups that allow us to know each other and be known, and so to respond together. In this internal reading, we seek to respond to the truths God has revealed that we experience and we believe, so they can come into our lives more deeply. We try to understand our lives by viewing ourselves in light of whose image we are created. So we read and ask questions of the text that would be in the category of things like, as I see the Lord, what does this say to me as a child of God, as a pilgrim on a faith journey to know, love, and serve him? It may be a question like, what does this say particularly to me? With my history, with the circumstances that are in my life right now, with my plans for the future, how does this encourage or correct or comfort? How is God speaking to me on that innermost level as an all-knowing, loving father to his child during this time of reading? You may find yourself drawn to or sympathetic to one character or another in the scripture passage. His or her situation may resonate with you. You may find yourself with negative responses to another. Ask the Lord for help to discern why. Again, these are meant to be read slowly. Take notes while you're doing it. My mind's only as sharp as my pencil. Allow these questions to rattle around in your mind and heart and to stay with you. Then take the time for a third reading. The external reading. Now we're informed by the revelation of the Lord, marked by a transformation in our hearts to turn toward him, and we are to respond to those and to him through the reflection of a life lived for him with and before others. We turned outward now as ambassadors and missionaries, and we ask different questions. Questions like, where does it encourage and connect with what is true in the world around me, in my culture? Where does this passage confront the things that are wrong in my day and in my place? Where does it celebrate the shared beauty of the world in the scriptures where it's lined up and we can see that? Where must it reshape and redeem what is ugly in my day and place? We read the passage and we consider the answers to questions like, does God have a new task or action or a new way of thinking and feeling that he wants me to live out with those around me? Does he want me to do something else or be a different way because of his heart for that mission? Does God want me to treat others differently based on how he treats me? Does that internal transformation spill over to the way I'm an ambassador for him? Is God calling me to do something, or perhaps stop doing something, or go somewhere, or engage someone in particular with this message? How might my responses to the Lord impact life at home, or where I play in my leisure time, or where I work? Use this time carefully and prayerfully. Take time to really listen to God. If you don't know what he's saying to you in that moment, that's okay. But give it time and always leave that door open as you let the scriptures really reside, abide in your hearts and change the way you live, so that we can read Lectio Coram Deo and live Lectio Coram Deo as disciples of his.